When people hear the word compounding, they think of numbers, charts, and formulas. But the most powerful form of compounding has nothing to do with math.
It comes from structure repeated over time. For generations, Jewish families have used a simple 33% rule that quietly compounds wealth without complexity or prediction. Not because it grows fast, but because it survives long enough to matter. In this video, you'll understand how the Jewish 33% compounding rule really works, why its simplicity creates powerful results over time, and why most people misunderstand what compounding actually means.
If you're looking for a realistic path to long-term progress, subscribe now. This channel is about systems that endure, not hype that fades.
Most people believe compounding is something that happens inside investments. In reality, compounding begins long before money ever reaches an account. It starts with behavior. Without consistent structure, no amount of growth potential can compound properly. People interrupt progress constantly, pulling money out, changing direction, reacting to fear, or chasing something new. These interruptions reset progress again and again.
The Jewish 33% compounding rule works because it minimizes interruption.
By dividing income into clear roles from the beginning, it protects future progress from emotional interference. Compounding is not acceleration. It is continuity. The longer a system remains intact, the more powerful its results become. This is why simplicity matters. Complex strategies demand attention and adjustment, which increases the likelihood of disruption. A simple system reduces decisions and preserves momentum. Over time, what compounds is not just money, but discipline, confidence, and stability. When structure is repeated month after month, year after year, results accumulate quietly. This is the form of compounding most people never experience. Not because it doesn't work, but because they never stay consistent long enough to see it.
The Jewish 33% compounding rule creates results not by accelerating growth, but by preventing interruption. Compounding fails most often because progress is constantly reset. People save, then spend. They invest, then withdraw.
They commit, then react. Each disruption breaks continuity, and compounding only exists where continuity survives. The 33% rule solves this by assigning money into separate roles that do not compete with one another. Living expenses are contained. Protection absorbs shocks. Growth remains untouched. Because each portion has a clear purpose, pressure in one area does not spill into another. This separation is what allows time to do its work. Compounding is not about doing more. It is about stopping less.
When money dedicated to the future is shielded from emotion, it remains in motion long enough to matter. The system removes the need for constant decisions, which is where most people fail. Instead of asking what to do with money every month, the answer is already defined. Over years, this consistency creates momentum. Momentum is often mistaken for intelligence or luck, but it is simply structure preserved over time.
This is why the system feels almost invisible while it works. Nothing dramatic happens. Nothing exciting appears. Yet progress accumulates quietly. That quiet accumulation is compounding in its most reliable form. The greatest threat to compounding is not markets, timing, or opportunity. It is human behavior under pressure. When money is kept in a single pool, every financial decision becomes emotional. A bad month creates fear. A good month creates temptation. Over time, these reactions interrupt progress repeatedly.
The Jewish 33% compounding rule protects against this by enforcing separation. Each portion of money is isolated from competing demands. Living money cannot steal from growth. Protection money cannot be justified as lifestyle. Growth money is not available to solve discomfort. This separation removes negotiation from the process. There is no debate, only boundaries.
Boundaries reduce stress, and reduced stress leads to better long-term behavior. This is why the system works quietly while others fail loudly. Most people do not abandon compounding because it doesn't work. They abandon it because they cannot tolerate emotional friction. The 33% rule lowers that friction by design. It accepts that people are imperfect and builds a system that does not require perfection. Compounding survives not because returns are high, but because behavior is controlled. When behavior stabilizes, time becomes an ally instead of an enemy. Compounding rarely breaks in dramatic moments. It breaks slowly through small, repeated decisions that feel harmless at the time.
The most common failure point is convenience. People interrupt growth to solve temporary discomfort. They justify pulling from the future to make the present easier. Each time this happens, compounding does not just pause. It resets. Another common break occurs when people chase improvement instead of preserving continuity.
They change systems, adjust allocations, or abandon structure because something else appears more attractive. Compounding does not reward optimization. It rewards persistence. The Jewish 33% compounding rule avoids these traps by limiting choice. When the structure is clear, there is nothing to improve, only something to maintain.
This is uncomfortable for people who equate progress with activity. In reality, progress often looks like restraint. Over time, restraint becomes stability, and stability allows accumulation to continue uninterrupted. This is why many intelligent, capable people never experience compounding. They are too active. They interfere too often.
Compounding requires fewer decisions, not better ones. When a system survives boredom, impatience, and doubt, it survives long enough for time to do its work. That endurance is what separates theoretical compounding from real results. For compounding to survive in real life, structure needs a place to live. Ideas alone are not enough. Without a clear system that reflects reality, even the best intentions slowly drift.
People know what they should do, but they lose visibility. They stop seeing how their decisions connect over time. The Jewish 33% compounding rule works because it is not abstract. It is visible. Each portion has a role, and that role must be tracked, respected, and reviewed. When structure is invisible, behavior weakens. When structure is visible, discipline becomes easier. This is why systems that last are simple and observable. And to make this journey effortless, we're building the Trip to Wealth Command Center, a Google Sheets system that brings your income, spending, investing, and net worth together in one place. It's your personal strategy hub designed to expose money leaks, highlight growth opportunities, and show how small decisions compound into real wealth. Join the early access list below and secure a discount as an early supporter. And if you've been enjoying the sound of my voice and would like to see me join the incredible Trip to Wealth team, simply comment "voice" to let us know.
Moving forward, every wealth system needs a strategy. This is where yours begins. The goal is not control, but clarity. When you can see where your money lives and why, compounding stops being theoretical and starts becoming part of daily life. Structure gains permanence when it has a home. Smart systems often fail because they demand too much attention. They require constant monitoring, adjustment, and confidence in one's ability to make the right decision at the right time. Over long periods, this expectation becomes unrealistic.
Life changes, energy fluctuates, priorities shift, and even the most disciplined people experience lapses. The Jewish 33% compounding rule survives precisely because it does not ask for brilliance. It asks for repetition. Simple systems reduce the number of decisions that must be made correctly. They trade flexibility for reliability. While this may feel limiting at first, it becomes liberating over time. When fewer choices exist, fewer mistakes are possible. The system does not depend on forecasting or optimization. It depends on respect for boundaries. This is why it continues to function even when attention fades. Smart strategies collapse when vigilance drops.
Simple systems continue quietly. Over years, this difference becomes decisive. Compounding rewards survival, not sophistication. The system that stays intact through boredom, distraction, and uncertainty is the one that ultimately produces results. This is why families who followed simple structures often outperformed those who relied on intelligence alone. Longevity favors what is easy to maintain, not what is impressive to explain. Time is often treated as a threat in personal finance. People fear wasting it, missing opportunities, or starting too late. But time only works against those whose structure keeps changing. When structure is stable, time becomes an ally. The Jewish 33% compounding rule creates this stability by removing the need for constant reinvention. When roles remain consistent, decisions stop being reactive. Month after month, year after year, the same framework guides behavior regardless of external conditions. This allows time to accumulate effects quietly. Progress no longer depends on perfect timing or extraordinary events. It depends on continuity. As years pass, the benefits of not interrupting the system become visible. Stress decreases. Confidence increases. Decisions feel lighter because the hardest choices were already made at the beginning. Time rewards what remains intact. When structure holds, patience stops feeling passive and starts feeling productive. This is the form of compounding most people never experience, not because it is inaccessible, but because it requires staying with the same system long enough to let time do what it does best. The final insight of the Jewish 33% compounding rule is that compounding is not something you chase. It is something you live. When money is divided with intention, behavior stabilizes. When behavior stabilizes, outcomes begin to repeat. Over time, these repeated outcomes shape identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to do better with money and start seeing yourself as someone who follows a structure. This shift is subtle but powerful. It removes urgency and replaces it with direction. Compounding becomes the natural result of alignment rather than effort. Even when progress feels slow, it continues. Even when motivation fades, the system remains. This is why the rule has endured across generations. It does not depend on optimism or control. It depends on boundaries respected consistently over time. When compounding is understood this way, it stops being intimidating. It becomes practical, calm, and sustainable. And that is what allows it to last long enough to matter. And there you have it, the Jewish 33% compounding rule. If you found value today, I highly recommend watching my next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave your comment below, especially if this video made you think differently. I appreciate your support more than you know. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.